Hi guys, it's Frankie from Frankie Tech, and I'm here today guys with another video, a quick comparison video between the Xiaomi Mi 6X and the Mi 8 SE. This is a continuation of a series I've been doing on these two phones. I did a camera comparison earlier in the week, and I did an initial comparison before that. But this comparison is really going to be focused on one thing: performance. That's right, guys. It's going to be the Snapdragon 660 battling it out against the Snapdragon 710, and I'm going to look at various factors of performance, including app loading, including battery performance, as well as Geekbench performance, and then kind of doing a little bit of a gaming performance test at the very end. So before we jump in though, I really want to say, guys, thank you so much for all the amazing support over this past month. It's been a thrill ride. And if you haven't checked out my previous video, I am doing for the first time ever here on Frankie Tech a giveaway, and that is a giveaway of the just recently launched Redmi 6. That is a really awesome budget phone. It's still, I think it's overall a really great experience just for what I've used thus far, and I'm leaving it pretty stock. I have not used it almost at all. I've just included, I guess, the Google apps, all the Google apps on that phone, and it's going to come ready to use out of the box with that, the screen protector still applied on it. So definitely, if you haven't seen that video, go and check out the details of how you can join that giveaway. Now let's go into just a quick specs overview of these phones for any of you guys who are not familiar with them. So the Mi 6X was launched a little bit earlier this year, in April, I want to say, of this year. And it is running right there, as you can see, the Snapdragon 660. The important specs to note for this review, for this comparison, are going to be the 6 GB of RAM. So that's the version I'm running, and the battery capacity. So that is a 3010 milliampere battery, and the screen size will play a factor here, guys. This is a 5.99 inch screen, and the Snapdragon 660 is at kind of the top end of what we would consider like the mid-range for Snapdragon processors, the 600 series. Now let's go into quick specs for the Mi 8 SE. And I think the most notable thing on this one is that it is the first Snapdragon 710 phone that's been commercially available. This is also running the 6 GB of RAM version, so this is actually a very fair test between these two. There are 4 GB variants available on these as well, and I'm running there the 64 GB of internal storage version. You can also see here battery capacity is 3,120 milliamperes, and you probably are starting to think here, oh, what is that battery comparison result going to be? And I would just say one quick hint already is look at the screen sizes of these phones. This is a 5.88 inch screen, and this is a 5.99. Honestly, they're actually pretty close, but the most important thing to consider here is that this is running an LCD screen, and this is AMOLED. This is probably the most budget AMOLED screen phone that you can get in the world right now. And so it's going to be interesting to see how the results come out. But let's jump into the first the first results here, and that would be for battery. So I ran a partial Geekbench battery test on both of these phones. And, let's have a look at the results right now, and we'll reassess when we get back. The Mi 6X scored a 4157 in the partial Geekbench battery test and a medium confidence rating. The rundown was a lot more than I suspected, and it definitely did not perform as well, more in line with the OnePlus 5 here and the Galaxy S8. Meanwhile, the Mi 8 SE scored a 5249 battery estimate with medium confidence. The rundown was a lot less than I expected, and overall, you can see it here in the chart, this phone definitely went a step above all the other batteries on this list. So there you go, guys. What did I tell you? That battery test, even though it was a partial one, still showed a lot of kind of what I suspected, and just from my general experience overall, that the Mi 8 SE has been actually performing better in battery life over the Mi 6X. I've been getting about 2 days of usage, out of the Mi 8 SE overall, and with standby, it's been really spectacular. And that considering it's got a really bright screen, even though it is AMOLED, so I think the AMOLED is really playing a major factor there. But I think the other part is that Snapdragon 710 is proven to be very efficient in its use, and you saw like just very much how it actually drew power in that one chart there. It was definitely not running down as fast, and I noticed that when I was doing the test versus the Mi 6X. The battery on the Mi 6X is not terrible. You know, it's not a deal breaker, but overall you can clearly see that if battery life is your kind of preferred kind of thing to consider, factor, then you need to look at the Mi 8 SE real close. And so here we are, guys. This is it. This is the apps loading test. And I've put 8 apps here on each of the phones, the 6X and the Mi 8 SE. So we're going to see how these two perform and which one, if either, comes out on top. Now, this is definitely the first time I'm doing a comparison of this kind on the channel, guys. So definitely bear with me. I will definitely be refining this comparison and this type of test in the future. But let's get started. And so I just want to show you guys right here that I have no apps in memory on both phones. There you go. No apps in memory. And I have my trusty iPhone SE here that's going to act as the stopwatch. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the actual icon here, and once it's fully loaded, I'm going to go to the next icon, and I'm going to go to the end and stop the watch at the end. Let's see what happens. So let's get started. Let's start with the Mi 6X. And so just to be completely fair here, I'm going to press the start button the moment I press that first icon. And for the games, I'm going to make sure that they load all the way to the first to the starter screen there. So that might take a little bit longer, but I think it's a fair thing to assess how that game is loading on the phone. So let's get started with the Mi 6X. Ready, set, go. That's loaded. That's loaded. Loaded. That's loaded. That's loaded. That's loaded. Come on. That's loaded. And now PUBG. Come on, you can do it, Mi 6X. You can do it. Mi 6X. Mi 6X. Come on. Oh, this one's taking a lot longer. Now we got to keep going. It's getting in there. Loading bar's coming in. There it is. And the Mi 6X finishes the race with 1 minute and 14 seconds to load all those apps. And there you go, guys. Let's see how now the Mi 8 SE performs. So once again, to be fair to the Mi 8 SE, I've made sure that I included an actual kind of article there in Chrome ready to load. So let's get started now with the speed test on the Mi 8 SE. In 3, 2, 1, go. That's loaded. That's loaded. Loaded. That's loaded. That's loaded. That's loaded. Whoops. Mi 8 SE doing really well right now. Wow. It's going pretty quick there. Whoa. That is loaded. There may be something going on there with the game being launched for the first time on the Mi 6X. But let's see how it does here with the PUBG, the crazy heavy PUBG start off here. Loading bar. Whoa, and that's it. Loading bar is complete, and there we go, guys. 1 minute and 7 seconds on the Mi 8 SE. And there were a few little hiccups there, here and there, on this very unscientific speed test, but you clearly saw it there that when it came to kind of loading those bigger apps, I definitely noticed it on PUBG there, that the Mi 8 SE definitely stole, just went ahead. It kind of went beyond the Mi 6X there. Now, how much of a difference was that? That was 7, just give or take, seconds overall between those two, but you can clearly see that the Mi 8 SE and that Snapdragon 710 came in handy. Now, I think with the other apps loading, there was really not much of a difference there. It really was in these heavier apps that I think you definitely noticed the difference, but wow, that was some result there, and that was super, super fun to do. And so now, since we have PUBG loaded and ready to go on both of these, I wanted to kind of just talk in some of the things that I've noticed so far while I was trying to play PUBG with both of these phones. And let me kind of just jump in here and show you guys. So when I'm trying to get to higher settings here on the Mi 8 SE, it's not letting me. And it's actually saying that the system will be available on your device. This update will be available on your device soon. I can definitely pick between any of these right here. But as you see there, though, with the Mi 6X, it doesn't let me go into HDR, but I can get up to HD right here. So to be fair to the Mi 8 SE and the fact that it can't run that, I know that there are these methods to do it. So if you guys know how I can actually kind of unlock those things ahead of time, definitely hit me up in the comments there, because I'd love to do that. But I'm going to put it on balanced and medium, and put it on just classic here for both of these. And first off, let's put that there. That's right. Okay, perfect. Now, first off, let's go ahead and press these two right here and see you know, how the game loads overall on these two. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, go. And this is on the same Wi-Fi network overall. Whoops. There you go. The Mi 8 SE came in a little earlier there. Waiting for it, there it is. So there's the Mi 6X, and it came right in. And so now, for you guys who were interested in seeing actually how gameplay performance was on the Mi 8 SE, let's jump out of the plane here once we get the chance to. And you see there, I did this with the Mi 6X in an earlier video, but it performed pretty well overall. But I can definitely tell you already, at least from what I'm seeing here, that the performance here on the Mi 8 SE, let's turn up the volume there, is pretty solid. Now, let's cut to once we're running on the ground here so we're not boring you. Meanwhile, here we are on the Mi 6X, and you can see it there. There's a few more jitters, but I think overall the performance of this game on the Snapdragon 660 is great. It's not a slouch. I think obviously clearly, and yeah, this has happened now the second time here. I don't know what went on just now, but the server disconnected from the Mi 6X the 2 times I've been trying to do this already. So I'm not sure what's going on. It's probably the signal here in my room, but that is too bad, because I definitely think, though, the Mi 6X still performs pretty admirably. But now looking back here on the Mi 8 SE, how are we doing? We're still flying in now, and gonna just do a few minutes of kind of running around so you guys can see how the performance is overall. So overall, it seems to me that performance on this is pretty solid. Should probably go get some stuff. Yep. Okay. Clearly you guys can see that I have not played this that much, but I played a few games. I played, I'd say 5 or 6 games thus far. I've been playing a lot more Fortnite on my iPhone, but that game has its own set of challenges for sure. But there you guys can see it's running pretty well, and I think overall the performance on the Mi 8 SE is probably a tad better than the Mi 6X, but I think overall, though, it's pretty similar. So this is the end of the video, guys, and you know, I think the gaming performance there was pretty interesting overall. I think a lot of you guys do want to see like more of that gaming type performance, but I can assure you that between the 660 and the 710, if really what you have in budget is just to be able to get the Mi 6X or eventually the Mi A2, you're not going to be let down by it. I think there was a kind of a Wi-Fi connection here in the room, and that's why that was disconnecting right here. But overall, both phones performed really well in that regard. But now to the real last question you have. Which one is better? Which one is better in terms of performance? And I think by at least probably the 10% that it says it's better, because that's the report I've seen out. I think the Mi 8 SE is still overall the better performer, and that's where this Snapdragon 710, it's for real, guys. It is for real. It does take an edge over the other mid-range chips, especially the 660 here in the Mi 6X. This is by no means a slouch phone. You saw it there in the Geekbench scores. You saw it in the performance. It is no slouch at all. It was only slightly behind the Mi 8 SE overall. But I think if you really do value that kind of extra little bit of performance, and obviously a really, really nice looking phone to boot, I think the Mi 8 SE will not let you down. But to all you guys who are on the Mi 6X camp, I can see why, because this is an absolute beauty of a phone. And when this comes out, guys, when this comes out as the Mi A2 with stock Android, and you know I'm looking at you, MIUI, with all your bloat and all your stuff. I want stock Android. I love stock Android, and when that comes out for the Mi 6X, or I guess will be the Mi A2, I'm definitely going to be checking that out. So stay tuned, guys, for that future phone comparison there, and I'll be doing a whole bunch of comparisons when that version of this phone comes out, and then really kind of see what happens and how the performance has changed versus the Mi 6X. But anyways, guys, this is the end of the video. Definitely hit me up with any questions, any comments you have about this video, any kind of advice also for the kind of format that you think these kind of gaming comparisons could take in the future. This was definitely my first kind of more in-depth gaming comparison, so it leaves a lot to be desired, I know. But if you did like the video, give me that thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And if you love and appreciate the content I'm doing, and you know, just want to give me the support, definitely subscribe to my channel. I really do appreciate it. And you know, I'll be continuing to explore these Xiaomi phones and other phones, you know, the other phones that are coming out in this kind of market, and really excited for what this summer will bring in smartphone releases. So guys, this is the end of the video, and all that's left for me to say is, this is Frankie Tech signing off. Take care, guys.